All right, welcome to the regular city council meeting for May 3rd, 2023. We have everybody present and accounted for, and a big special treat tonight in honor of National Police Week, actually. The Davenport High School Junior ROTC Color Guard is going to post the colors for us. So, Colonel Allman, I'll turn it over to you. Let's post the colors, if we'll all rise. Please take your seats. If you'll indulge me really quickly, I'm going to go make sure that they come back in after they put the flags away and say hi to us. I'm not going to let them off the hook that easy. Mayor's prerogative. Hey, Colonel, will you bring them back in when everything's all done? I want to introduce you. Thanks. Okay. All right, we have some proclamations, right? Might as well stay standing. Okay. Again, best part of my job is what we just did, and then some proclamations. If I can have Marissa and Courtney, please join me, and anybody else you want up here? Okay.
We asked Tina to take pictures.
Tina's taking pictures. Okay. All right. It is professional municipal clerk. It is. We just want to recognize what our professionals do in the city of Garden Ridge. So, proclamation. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and the office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And professional municipal clerks serve as the information center on functions of local government and community, and professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, regional, county, and international professional organizations. And it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Rob Erickson, Mayor of Garden Ridge, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 30th through May 6th, 2023 in the city of Garden Ridge as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Signed under my hand on the 3rd day of May, 2023. And with that, we'll get some pictures. Take these off. You stand there, okay? Okay, a couple words. We can't get this done. Everything that we do in the city of Garden Ridge, all of us here, all of us out there, certainly all of us up at the dais, cannot get this done without these two ladies right here. And what the professional duties that they perform day in, day out, the things, and week in, week out, through the month and through the year. The things that they do are constant, and they do it so well we don't even know about it. Other than when something goes slightly awry, which very seldom does it do, and I get the phone call from either Marissa or Nancy saying, hey, something you need to know about, and here's how we're going to fix it. So anytime there's a problem, it's so great. I wish we all operated this way. Anytime there's a problem, they come to the mayor or the council with the problem at hand, and then there's a solution, maybe a couple of remedies, and hey, mayor, what do you think? Or council, what do you think? Nancy, mayor, what do you think? And we go, well, what do you think? They come up with the answer, and we go, that sounds pretty good, right, Nancy? So, right, chief? Everybody up front? So, what they do is vital to the city of Garden Ridge, and we couldn't do without them. So, some words? I'll back away.
I just want to say thank you to the mayor, all of council, and the community for their continued support, and definitely couldn't do what I do. I don't know where I would be without my staff, so obviously, of course, thank you to my staff and my great boss, Nancy, of course. That's all I have to say.
Courtney? Before we move on to the next proclamation, Chief, I'd like Colonel Allman and Mrs. Kniper, if you'd come up here, please, along with the junior ROTC. And you can just walk at ease. Saunter, yes. So, come on, right over behind me. Yeah, right over here. Okay. So, Ken, you got to come up here too. Yeah, you can't get out of this. I just want to sit. Oh, you got to come up here. Okay, so Colonel Allman is the professor for junior ROTC at Davenport High School and has been since its opening, correct? And you've grown the program from, I think, 14 cadets to what is it now? You got to come over here.
We've grown our program from 30 kids to about 130. Since we've been, this is going to be our second graduating class, we've did 12 scholarships to, that's about, altogether, we've accumulated about 1.8 million in scholarships. Had about 8 kids that go into the military. We've won several national and state level competitions, include Raider, and just recently we're nominated, and we're going to be going to Washington, D.C. for our joint leadership academic bowl team. So we're doing some great things, but I can't do it without my first sergeant and my cadet leadership. These kids go above and beyond the call of duty and service to our community. So one thing we do miss is going out and helping out in the community. So I think the more we can do together, it definitely makes our city better. And we just want to thank you guys for all of your support as well. Thank you.
Before we introduce the cadets, Barbara and Ken, if you'll come up here. So honorary parents of the entire athletic department at Davenport High School, correct? The whole honorary parents of the whole school. So, and you guys set this up and made this happen today. So we just want to say, but you're a team, right? Yes. Okay, but, so we just want to say thanks on behalf of Davenport High School and the whole city of Garden Ridge for everything you guys do and the tremendous support you show for Wolves Nation. So, and everybody. So thanks so much. A big round of applause. Okay, we want to introduce the cadets. So you got to come up one at a time. What year you are and your name. Or name and what your rank. And your rank.
Yeah. I'm Cadet Sergeant Major Vigamez. This is my 3rd year in the program. I was one of the first 14 cadets.
Get close to the mic, it's okay.
One of the first 14 cadets, and love the color guards.
Sergeant Major, so you're the top?
No.
Yes.
Top
operations.
Yeah. Yeah. Top junior, yes? Is that right? Or are you a senior?
Junior, you're going to be a senior.
Gonna be a senior. Okay, you're next.
Hello, I'm Cadet Sergeant Alvarado. This is my first year in the ROTC.
Congrats. Okay, come on up.
Hello, I am Cadet Staff Sergeant Stephen Castillo. This is my second year in the program.
Fantastic. Last but not least.
Hi, I'm Cadet Major Zoe Harrison. I'm the new battalion commander, and this is my third year in the program.
You're a senior?
I'm a junior.
Junior,
Yep.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Another round of applause. Thanks so much. You guys want to get a picture? Yes, sir. Let's get in front of the dais, all of us. Everybody, I'll be on the end. You don't have to stand at attention, you guys. Chill. At ease, right? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
You bet. Shake hands. Good. Nice. Great job. You guys look great. Nice job. Congrats. I missed one. Always. Okay, one more thing. So this is why Proposition B for the Comal ISD bond is so important. Because, so we got to get out and vote. We have about 16% voter turnout so far in early voting, and we usually cross the finish line strong. So we're shooting for at least 19%, which is 9% above the average for the national. So Garden Ridge has one of the highest voting, registered voter turnouts of any city around us, right, Marissa? Yeah, within 100-mile radius. So I'd put us up against anybody in Texas, actually. So, but it's so important that we vote, come out and vote, and Proposition B is so important because that detachment of 130 kids, 130 cadets, is not where they're supposed to be, where they were designed to be. The athletic department is in the ROTC rooms, the 2 rooms that were designed for junior ROTC. They are just adjacent to the cafeteria, Ken, is that right? In a room much smaller than council chambers. Maybe a third of the size, Ken? Yeah. So you can see that you can't really get it all done, 130 kids cramped in a small room, right? We need the room. We need that big, we need to finish Davenport High School. I can't say it any better than that. So thanks for your patience there. Okay, one more proclamation. Chief and Officer Wang, front and center. One of the greatest weeks is almost upon us again. So, proclamation. Whereas in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. National Police Week, established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962, pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. And the members of the Garden Ridge Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Garden Ridge. And it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And it is fitting and proper that we express our gratitude for the dedicated service and courageous deeds of all law enforcement officers and for the contributions they have made to the security and well-being of our fellow citizens. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Rob Erickson, Mayor of Garden Ridge, Texas, do hereby proclaim May 14 through 20, 2023 in the city of Garden Ridge as National Police Week. Thank you very much. Chief, Officer Wang. Hey, we couldn't get it done without you and without all of our officers. And I'm not going to steal your thunder. I want you to talk about Dan too. So, Chief, the floor is yours. We'll get pictures here in a second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, let's get down. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate all of the support that the community gives to the department out here. We work hard with the relationship, and we appreciate that working relationship we have with the community. This is not, when we talk about the numbers of officers being lost, is not a pleasant thing to speak about. I ask that everybody remember it's been a tough few years. There's a lot in the news the last couple of years, but I'd like to remind everybody that there are much fewer bad officers out there than there are good. There's always a few bad, and we dislike them just as much as you do. I will give you a brief update, though, since the mayor brought it up. Our own lieutenant, Dan Bellinger, went through surgery last week. He's doing well. He is hopefully going to get out and be returning home tomorrow. He'll still be out for another month or so, but we ask that you keep him in your thoughts so that he can return safely to us and continue with what he's done over the last 20 years of serving the community. So thank you very much.
Passing up a mic, really? So, it's Dan Bellinger's birthday tomorrow. He was May the 4th. And Officer Wang, you have a birthday this month too? On the 15th? Crazy. Okay. The chief already alluded to it, but for all of us here up at the dais and everybody out there watching, we couldn't be more supportive in the city of Garden Ridge and our local community. We couldn't be more supportive of our police department. They are consummate professionals. They are personal. They protect us. I sleep well at night knowing that the chief of police is about 3 blocks from my house, and Officer Wang is out there on duty with everybody in the police department. So we are blessed to have you guys, and we couldn't be more in favor of our police officers and law enforcement in the city of Garden Ridge. We have your back. I promise you that. Yes, sir. Want a picture?
Yes.
Okay. Front of the dais. Hangs in the center. Big round of applause. Thanks, Chief. Well, that's all I got. We'll keep going here. That concludes item number 3. We're on to item number 4, citizen comment period. Marissa, nobody signed up. That concludes item number 4. On to item number 5, the consent agenda. These items may be acted upon in a single motion. No separate discussion or action on these items will be held unless requested by a council member. Public comment on these items may be heard during citizens' participation. However, that does not mean the item will be considered outside the consent agenda. So, council, does anybody have anything they'd like to pull from this month's consent agenda? Okay, if there's nothing to pull from the agenda, can I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the current consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second for the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda passes. On to item number 6, staff reports. 6A, City Administrator. Nancy, ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I have a few thank you notes that I want to pass on. One of them is Councilmember Bauer sent a note in expressing her thanks to Public Works employee Drew for his help in offloading some items during the March dumpster weekend. She said he's always friendly and helpful. The next one that I have is from Bill and Marilyn Winters, and they attended the 2023 Garden Ridge Citizens Police Academy, and they thank the efforts of Chief and the police department staff for the great experience, and which helped them better understand and appreciate the responsibilities and challenges police officers encounter on a daily basis. They said the police department is staffed by professional, knowledgeable, and caring individuals who have an exceptional commitment to public service. Then, Officer Richard McMahon participated in Comal ISD's Garden Ridge Elementary School career fair. And he, the counselor at Garden Ridge Elementary School, sent a thank you note for his participation, as well as several little thank you cards from students that were in the first grade class of Ms. Krause's. I believe that he had quite an impact on them.
Todd, those pictures and writing are nicer than you could do, actually, yeah. That's nice. That's a great dinosaur and a police officer.
Okay, the next item I wanted to report on is we have some employee recognitions. First of all is Tina Infante for 1 year's service with the City of Garden Ridge this May. Then we have, in April, we had 9 years of service from Shannon Del Toro. And then forget
And 21 years with Nancy, with the general.
Oh, no, no, no. Thank you
Yeah,
all
that's
for
another
your
round of
service.
applause, everybody. Tina, I can't believe it's been a year. So Shannon's not here, but 9 years, and Nancy, thanks for 21 years of faithful
You're
service
welcome.
to our city.
You're welcome, Mayor.
And you're still on.
Okay. Volunteer hours during the month of April were 4.5 hours for the bill stuffing, 150 volunteer hours in the library, and 48 volunteer hours for the Parks Committee, which totaled 202.5 hours. Then I have several other items to add to my report. Let's see, where do I want to start? On April the 8th, we had a shred event here at the held up at the community center, and it was sponsored by Suzanne Kuntz Realty. There were 46 drops of paper, which equated to 322 boxes of paper that were shred. A very successful event, and they've already told me that they want to sponsor next year's event. And then on April 27th, Tri-County Chamber of Commerce Mixer was held in Paul Davis Park. It was live music, food, and lots of fun. I think it was probably close to about 80 attendees. It was a very good event. Then on May the 5th, which is this coming Friday, there will be a Cinco de Mayo First Friday at Paul Davis Park from 5:30 to 7:30. Davenport High School seniors will be cooking, I believe, hot dogs and hamburgers for their fundraiser for project graduation. Please come out and join the council and the mayor for that event. Then on May the 11th, Comal County is going to be sponsoring and putting on a property tax workshop at the community center. Beginning at 6 p.m., tax assessor collector Kristen Hoyt and the Comal County appraiser, chief appraiser Jeffrey Booker will be speaking at this event and educating the public on the property tax system, process, how you can protest, your appraised values, exemptions, tax bills, deadlines. So it sounds like it's going to be a very informative event for our residents. Then on May 19th, City Hall is going to be closing at 11:30 because we are going to celebrate our employees with an Employee Appreciation Day, and they are going to be going on a field trip. More information will be coming out to council and the staff in the next, probably next week. And then another important thing I need to ask council to do. Please provide me with your vacation schedules for the months of July and August. We have some deadlines that we are going to have to meet in our budget and tax rate adoption process, and so I can put a calendar together and secure some dates and get notices out to the public. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Let's add 45 hours of volunteer work with Families of Gardner Ridge
Okay.
from April 1st, that we're still waiting for the trash to actually get picked up by TxDOT. And there was something else I wanted to mention. Nope, that's it. See you at First Friday. And looking forward, Council, 19 May, our field trip, special place, celebrating the sound of freedom. Okay, Council, any questions for Nancy? Outstanding, thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.
6B, Finance and HR Monthly Activity Report. Tina, the floor is yours, ma'am. Hardest part's getting that mic to turn on. It's on. Floor is yours, Tina.
Sorry, I've never done this before. So I just want to let you know, the previous director has left, and also our part-time librarian has left. She left in the month of April. So right now, we have a conditional offer for a finance and HR position, so we're just waiting on that. And right now, we have currently 2 officers and a part-time librarian position open.
Thank you, Tina. Was that just HR and finance, or just HR?
Just HR, I don't
Okay.
have anything with finance right now.
Okay. We are putting together our amended budget for this fiscal year to present to you, most likely in June. As you heard Nancy say, let's get our vacation inputs in so that we can work the scheduling process to make sure we have a supermajority year for all of those budget and tax rate meetings. So you guys, there are no more rookies as of a week from now, right? So you guys all know how this works. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, he'll always be a rookie. All right, 6C, City Secretary Marissa, floor is yours.
Thank you. I don't have much to add. I just wanted to note that City Hall will be closed on Monday, May 29th for a holiday. And then you heard about the early closure from Nancy for Friday, May 19th. And the only other thing I wanted to point out is that we just finished early voting. Like everyone heard earlier, we had about 592 people vote early. It's roughly 16% of our registered voters. We had quite a few people come in today thinking that voting was still happening, and so hopefully they'll come back on Saturday. Election day is this Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. right here in this room. And then election results will be posted on the elections page on the city's website as soon as they are received. Last year, I looked back, we got the results a little bit before 11 p.m., so I would expect about the same. It'll probably be late, but they will be posted once they are received. And then the official canvass is scheduled for Wednesday, May 17th at 6 p.m. right here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is that City Council had 540 views on meetings from the month of April, which is probably the highest that we've had. That includes the Board of Adjustment meeting and the City Council regular meeting. But that's a lot.
That is a lot. Words are out. I keep hearing about that meeting, so.
That's all I have.
Okay. Council, anything else from Marissa?
I just wanted to give a shout out to Kristen Hoyt for bringing all of her tax services to Garden Ridge. I'm continually impressed with that.
Fully agree. She's awesome. Anybody else? All right, cool. Thanks, Marissa. Chief, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. First of all, there is a typo. The first 4 on the arrest there are carryovers from last month's report. I didn't catch that they didn't get removed on the arrest, so that looks a little bit larger. That's actually 2 months' worth of arrests. Most everything else is on there. By combining the hours, our CPA volunteers had close to 150 volunteer hours between March and April, helping out with different events that we have. We had a really good CPA social a few weeks ago out at Oak Valley Vineyard. We had about 45 folks show up for that. Had a really good meal, filled up their room out there on their outdoor patio area, or the indoor patio. And the only other things I'd like to add to the information that's here, I started a project last August or so, getting a new video server, WatchGuard video server for our body cams, car cams. due to supply chain issues that lasted a lot longer than I would have liked to have seen. We finally got the server in December. They couldn't get it in till February to help me install. We ran into some other issues. We finally got it up and running, so we do have a new video server for all of our body cams, dash cams, all of that, that should take us through the next 6 or 8 years of storage that we need. And as of last week, I upgraded all of the body cameras. Our body cameras that we had have been being phased out over the last couple of years. They're starting to break down. They don't make them anymore, so we've upgraded to the newer style, have some additional features. So basically, we've got all new body cams, new server. Next will be the vehicles that I'll start working on. And none of that cost the city any money. Everything came out of drug seizure money, federal asset seizures. Nothing came out of taxpayer dollars. So we'll keep that equipment going at the highest level we can as long as we have those funds coming in. We also have a brand new Tahoe being outfitted. We didn't get vehicles the last couple of years due to our changing of our policies. So I've got a new vehicle for the sergeants. It's a Tahoe. It's being outfitted, should be up on the road, and within the next couple of weeks, you'll see it out there. It's a nice looking vehicle. They are getting a little expensive though. And the last thing I'd like to remind everybody is on June the 24th is our Firemen and Police Pancake Breakfast to raise money for the Children's Advocacy Center over at Paul Davis Park. Everything's done on donation. Come out and have some pancakes, sausage. We'll have a mimosa bar going somewhere out there. Someone else runs all that for us, and see what we can raise for the Children's Advocacy Center this year. And that's all I've got, sir.
Thanks so much, Chief. June 24th, got it. Council, anything else for Chief? And our best wishes to Dan, especially tomorrow on his birthday.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Thanks, Chief. That opens it up to item number 6E, Public Works monthly activity report. Stephen, sir, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the month of April, Public Works completed 504 tasks. We recorded up at our shop 2.27 inches of rain. We did a lot of work on Old Nacogdoches Road by Hanson. We filled potholes and the edges of the road. We used about 15 tons of asphalt there. We helped set up for the Tri-County Mixer at the park. We are currently still have some vehicles and some equipment on Gov Deals, so we're doing quite well with selling stuff on auction, all of our old stuff. For oak wilt, we did get approved by the state to proceed with the oak wilt trenching. Now we're going out and getting bids for a trencher. Probably the lowest, the best deal we can find for that. We do have dumpsters coming back in May on the weekends. We currently have 1 dog and 2 cats. And that's all I have to really report for April.
Thank you, Stephen. So we got Gunner right there, is that right?
Yes.
And then Pebbles is the next one. We have a picture of Pebbles?
We don't. It's
We
not on
don't?
this report. We just
Okay.
got Pebbles yesterday.
Okay.
So if anybody knows their owner, let us know.
Cute, awesome. Anybody for council, anybody have anything for Stephen for Public Works?
Yes, I do.
Please.
Great job, Stephen, on selling off the unused equipment. The yard back there is looking great, cleaning up the area back there, and we got income for the city. That's 2 good things there. And also, thanks I noticed that over the last 2 months, picked up 130, pounds of trash that y'all been picking up from the road, and it's, I know it's not just brush, there's other stuff out there, and I'm sure it's just people passing by here, so thank you for keeping the roadway clean, so, anyway, thanks.
Council? Okay.
Yes, I'd like to commend an unnamed council member for adopting the previous dog, Maverick. So let's keep it rolling, find Gunner a home.
I agree. Way to go, Rook. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that. Stephen, I want to echo the thanks from the council and the city for everything you guys do when we set up a First Friday or a mixer for the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. It's a tremendous amount of work to put together a big party. where we are hosting upwards of 80 people, so round up a little bit, 100, 150 people. So with a band and with sponsorships and whatnot, even all the sponsorship money we have coming in to pay for food and drinks and beverages and whatnot doesn't equate to what you guys do to make sure that the park is ready, along with the Parks Committee, setting up the sound system, making sure the lights are turned on, the grass is mowed, all that kind of stuff. So what you guys do is absolutely huge. And I have been driving by up and down 2252 waiting for our trash to get picked up from the pickup on April 1st. But then I drive down 3009 and it looks remarkably better just in the last month and a half or so that you guys have been stopping and picking up big pieces of trash. Not little stuff, but the stuff that you can pick up, that it makes all the difference in the world. So, and that's one of the secrets when you go to Disneyland or Disney World, they stop and pick up trash so that it looks like it's pristine all the time, and we thank you for doing that. So I noticed that, so does council. Everybody driving by notices that, so thanks so much. And you can continue with utilities.
For April, we pumped out of the Edwards 16.37 acre feet. That leaves us 34.19 acre feet for the year. We have available 544 acre feet. Edwards is still in stage 3. Trinity Well, we pumped 48.41 acre feet. That brings our year total to 220.98 acre feet. All bacteria, all monthly samples that are required from TCEQ passed. Had one extra sample we had to take for our well because we had it, the motor and pump replaced. That has been in the ground for about 12 years, so it was overdue for that, and it's doing really well now. Our water loss dropped to 7.7%. It was 8.5 in March. Stage 2 restrictions alerts. April alerts was 469, down 50 from March, and sent one leak adjustment to the Water Commission. That's all I have for the water utilities.
Thanks, Stephen. Jesse, I know you got something.
You bet. And great work on, replacing that municipal pump well motor, like it was in time from what you described it. And you also mentioned in your weekly report that you're updating the frequency that you'll be inspecting these pumps. So I think that's great. Like Mayor said, we're a no-fail operation, right? We don't want to go to run a failure. In my previous work, when I was working in a chemical plant, there were some equipment we ran to failure because it was too expensive. But here, we don't want to do that. So our citizens require that. So I appreciate, y'all doing that. And I guess the April showers really helped this month. Consumption was down 6 million gallons, almost 25% reduction from March. So the rain helps. Edwards is up, but not significant, just barely over 640. So I don't see a significant change coming up in the future from there, unless we get major rain. I doubt it. So It's going to be in right there. So I think, you're recommending we just stay at stage 2, which I think we need to do that. I agree with Stephen on that. Also want to thank Stephen, Dwayne, and Michelle for hooking up Kelly and I on the tours of the wells. Everything looked real good, so appreciate that.
Yes, we learned a lot. Thank you. It was very enlightening.
Anyone else from council for Stephen, for utilities? Okay, so we're in agreement. We need more rain. We're going to keep going, wait to see what happens with SAWS and the Edwards Aquifer, but we'll stay in stage 2 for now, right? Okay, great. Stephen, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Without further ado, we are on to 6F, our librarian's monthly activity report.
Good evening.
Ms. Linda, I got to say I'm disappointed because tomorrow is May the 4th.
Yes.
And you're not dressed up.
Oh.
Like Queen Amidala.
I will be tomorrow.
I know, but we won't all see you tomorrow.
Oh, what? You're not?
I will. I'll come by and see you.
Smart. I love the way you said that.
Yes, ma'am.
Good answer.
Floor's yours.
Okay. You all heard Tina say that we need an assistant librarian. Patricia Ann left very quickly following a family emergency, and so she's all right, but we are badly in need of an assistant. And I just hope we get one as good as she was, and as was Wendy Bippert, and was Kelly Curtright. We've been on a really good roll, so I hope that can continue. I would like to emphasize, as mentioned, tomorrow is May the 4th, and one of our larger or more fun activities is May the 4th be with you. We will have games like Shoot the Stormtrooper, Bring Down the Death Star, wholesome games of murder and mayhem. Wholesome games for kids. We'll have a photo booth and some spacey snacks like Wookiee cookies and Yoda soda, clever little things that you can eat. So come celebrate Star Wars with us. You must. It starts at 6 o'clock. And yes, I will be dressed as Queen Amidala. You probably won't even recognize me. We have a couple of extra lunch and learns this time. Councilman Valdez's wife, Linda, the fantastic Linda, will be doing a presentation on May 18th on birding. She probably could write a book on birding, and she'll have some fantastic photos of, I think, birds in South America and Cuba. And then a very important living life well topic is going to be memory loss with aging, normal or abnormal. I think everybody here has probably been touched in some way by Alzheimer's or dementia. Not you touched, but people, parents, grandparents, neighbors, and we know what a hard disease this is to deal with. Dr. Pam Camosi will, we hope, give us some strategies and some information that should be very timely. And that's also at 6 in the evening. Last month, for National Library Month, I did a little chart on our special activities, and I'm not going to go over them with you, but I did just thought maybe it was of interest because I know you probably all slept with it under your pillow. Oh, this is a little different. I had a chart that had all the special things coming up to through October. Just something I thought you might wonder about. On the left-hand column here, I always have the activities listed, but, that was a different one. I have them listed, and you look like, well, you're doing some nice little activities, but if you add them up, they happen every week. And so we have regularly children's activities. We have between 35 and 37 a month, and we have 7 adult activities per month. So, and then that chart that I didn't send apparently was, we have like about 14 special things coming up for the rest of the year. So that's all to say, we are not your mother's library anymore. So if y'all have any questions about what we do, I would love to hear them.
Thanks so much, Linda. Council, anything for Miss Linda? Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
And may the 4th be with you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to. All right, on to item number 7, City Engineer Project Status Reports. Sam, it's always good to see you. You have a quick update for us, and then you get to come back up here in a little bit, right?
I hope so.
Floor is yours, sir.
Good evening. So I don't have much to add to this report, just that we submitted the recommendation letter for the 2252 project, and if approved, the contract is approved, then a week later we'll issue the notice of award, and then a couple of weeks after that, pre-construction meeting. So we're getting pretty close to breaking ground on this construction project. So that's pretty much all I wanted to mention tonight.
Okay, thanks. We have, we're going to go through and do item number 8, and then we'll come right back up for item number 9 on approval of authorizations, unless council has any questions for you right now. Okay, thanks, Sam. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. Okay, on to item number 8, City Commission and Committee reports. Planning and Zoning 8A did not meet in April, so no report. Takes us to 8B, Water Commission. Chairman Jim Mueller, it's always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Good
Floor is
evening.
yours.
All right, we have one recommendation for you this month, and that is for a water loss adjustment for 9902 Michelle Hill for the billing period December 22nd, 2022 to January 23rd, 2023. There's some information in your report there. I think I'm just going to hit the highlights on this one, and one thing you should notice is that when we got the recommendation from the Utilities Department, it was modified by the Water Commission. When we looked at that, the Utilities Department did the right thing. They looked at it, and the people had turned the water back on, and by their rules, that they would have stopped the adjustment at that point. We looked at it, and there's a letter from the owner, that's the second to last page in your package for the water, about some mitigating factors that were there. We weighed those mitigating factors and decided to make the adjustment for the entire amount of their water leak, which, oh, by the way, is also based on, closely matches or is in line with the excess water that was used compared to their average over the last year. With that, any questions?
Council, any questions regarding the leak adjustment for Chairman Mueller? Jesse, anything? No questions. Okay. So with that, you've all looked at it. Can we call it up so everybody can see it? Nope, we don't have it? Okay.
Can't do it.
Utility account information is confidential now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
everyone has a printed sheet in front of them on council.
I'll let you look at it briefly. Any questions on the leak adjustment?
I don't have any questions, but I want to just make comments.
Please.
I was at the Water Commission meeting, so I went through the process, understand it, agree with, support their recommendation. This was actually a house that Dwayne and I had visited back in August. I was happened to be visiting with Dwayne, and he got a call from Michelle about not a separate leak. That was right by the meter. So this was a different leak, so I understand the situation there. There was one question about the AMI notification. Stephen, did y'all do any research on why that might not happen? Or I know the last notification was in August, but nothing was happening in December.
Still waiting to hear back from Camstruck
Still
to
waiting,
find out
okay.
what the glitch was, if there was one.
But there was a glitch or something. So that was an issue that, was on our side also. Looks like that the homeowner was not notified. I think they found the leak like 10 days or 7 days after it really started, according to the data. So, which was a pretty massive leak, 600 gallons an hour. So anyway, I support the Water Commission's recommendation.
Thanks, Jesse. Council, anything else? Any questions? Okay.
Is that an unusual length of time to not hear back on AMI?
I'm not sure. Michelle has been in contact with them, with the people out for the notification portion of it.
And I know she's out this week, so.
I would say it really just varies on what we're contacting them about. I think this particular thing, they're having to do a little more research into what may or may not have happened, because all we know so far is that the homeowner logged into their account on a certain day, and we're not able to see what they changed or what they didn't change, and if they changed any preferences, if they changed a phone number. We can just see that there was a login on a certain day. So they're probably looking in the back end to give us a little more information, and I think that's probably why it's taking a little longer.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Kay. Anything else, council? If there's no other questions for Chairman Mueller regarding this leak adjustment, can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the Water Commission's recommendation to grant a credit of $1,567.24 for the 9902 Michelle Hill account.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Can we get a second?
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes and the leak adjustment has been approved. Chairman Mueller, the floor is still yours for updates.
Thank you, Mayor. The only other thing I would like to bring up in our meeting, I'm not sure if you had a chance to watch the Water Commission meeting. We had a very good report from Stephen about, we had a question about whether we should change watering hours inside of Ordinance 61. He went through a pretty detailed discussion about why the watering, or where they're at and how the water supply system varies over time. And then his recommendation was to leave the times as they are right now, and then gather some more data over the next few months over the hot period, and then see later on. But right now, there's, I don't know, I would say that there's probably risk in that area, moving the time, so better just to hold off, and that's what the Water Commission has decided to do on that. Other than that, our next meeting is on May 16th.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. It's always good to see you. Council, anything else for Chairman Jim Mueller or Water Commission Chair? Outstanding. Thanks so much. Okay, moving on to 8C Charter Commission. Obviously, the Charter Home Rule Charter Commission did not meet in April, but we did have a town hall meeting. Most of you were there. And very many people out in the audience were there. So it was our first true town hall meeting in memory of Garden Ridge, in recent memory. And I think it went really well. There were some really good questions out there. And I appreciate the staff and council stepping up, as well as the Charter Commission coming out and helping answer those questions for our residents. And we continue the voting process for Home Rule Charter this Saturday. Any questions for me? All right, thanks. Move on to item 8D, Parks Committee. Mr. Chamberlain is not here tonight, but Nancy, do you have something to read from him?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chamberlain wanted to report that the Parks Committee is continuing work on the annual July 4th celebration.
Outstanding. Thanks, Nancy. That's the quickest Parks Committee report on record, actually. And our theme this year is going to be Celebrate the Sound of Freedom, so you guys can start doing the math on where we're going for our field trip and why. So we look forward to July 4th celebration, as always. That concludes item number 8. Item number 9, approvals and authorizations. The following items are for discussion, consideration, and action. 9A, FM 2252, water line relocation, and recommendation, receive recommendation regarding bid proposals. Sam, come on up. Come on back up. Floor is yours.
Okay, so on April 5th, we had a bid opening meeting here in this room for the 2252 project. And we had, I believe, like 10 or 11, no, about 7. It was 7 bidders, contractors that bid on the project. And so they submitted their bids. We went through the bids in the room. Stephen and Dwayne were here as well as part of that process. So the original low bid bidder had a mistake in their bid calculation. So I went back to them and I let them know that there was a mistake, and they said that they couldn't accept the mistake because it lowered their bid even more. So they dropped out. So we went with the second low bidder, which was Pronto Sandblasting and Coating and Oil Field Services. We did check their references. They had good feedback from the references. They did a lot of work in saws, and I'm still keeping contact with people I used to work with, so they had good remarks for them. So that's our recommendation, is to award Pronto Sandblasting and Coating and Oil Field Services for this 22 2252 work.
Thank you, Sam. Nancy, anything to add with this?
The city has an adequate amount of money to pay for this project through the remaining funds of the SIB loan, as well as money we've received through the American Rescue and Recovery funds. And we should still have a slight balance left in the American Rescue and Recovery funds after this project is completed. But I wanted to let you know that we do have adequate funds to cover this project.
Thank you, Nancy. Council, any questions for Sam or Nancy before I make a couple of comments? Jesse?
Well, I did have questions, and I called Sam earlier to save some time here. But, so I just review what I discussed with him. You know, while 4 of the bids were within 7%, I was puzzled or confused because there was a wide range in the unit prices for some of these items. For valves, you know, it was a big range, and, you know, I wanted to be sure the quality was still there. So quality assured me, Sam assured me the quality was gonna be there. The difference is, you know, availability of product. Some vendors may have, some of these suppliers may have, you know, their supplier better than others and keep the cost down. But, you know, so I feel good about the explanation he gave me and why the pricing showed up that way. So, anyway.
Thank you. So in your engineering mind, you're satisfied?
I'm satisfied, yes, sir.
Outstanding. That means a lot. Todd Kay?
No, I just had a traditional question about the contingency. If they go over, do they have a normal contingency clause if they find that the cost or extend the time or anything like that? Or is this a fairly set bid?
It's a set bid. They were supposed to factor that into their unit cost. So if there is any, say for instance, for revegetation, so if there was revegetation that they didn't anticipate issues or whatnot, or if they anticipated issues, they would increase that unit price some to put
They
a.
factored that in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Okay, and again, we are proceeding with this because eventually 2252 with TxDOT will be coming up from where it's log jammed at the moment at Evans Road, but eventually it's going to be all the way up past the intersection, just past the intersection of FM 2252 and FM 3009. And we are responsible for adjusting our water lines. So, and we are getting it done early, right? So, even back when it was, the TxDOT project was on schedule. So we're able to pay for this with what's left over from our SIB loan that we talked about literally a year ago, as well as our ARPA funds that we received from the federal government due to COVID. If you've been following the United States Congress, there is talk of reaching back and maybe starting to look at some of those funds that haven't been spent yet or aren't allocated to be spent. So we are acting on our best behalf, the city of Garden Ridge, to use those funds while they are still available to us. So, and like Nancy said, we will have some funds hopefully left over that we can apply to other uses for the city of Garden Ridge. So, Sam, I appreciate on behalf of the city of Garden Ridge all your hard work on this. You've been doing this for the better part of 12 months with a lot of things going on professionally and personally. So thanks for all your hard work. It's come to fruition, just about.
Yes, sir.
And we look forward to you bringing this across the goal line for us. So
It's been my pleasure.
if council deems it so. So council, we have some action to take. If you don't have any more questions for either Sam or Nancy, we need to, item number 9A2, take action to award the bid if you choose to. So you have Sam's recommendation. You have some of the research that Jesse did, asking Sam some good questions with his engineering background, and Jesse sounds like he's in favor of it. I'm in favor of this and this bid. So any questions? Any other questions for me or Jesse in this case? If you don't have any more questions, can I get a motion to award this bid. And before we do that, Nancy, Marissa, do we need to be specific in our motion for this?
I would mention the name of the company that it's being awarded to and the amount. So in other words, this is Pronto Sandblasting and Coating and Oil Field Services. And the amount is $1,119,284. I would be specific and mention those two items.
So council, if we read that sentence, the majority of that sentence in front of you, that would be a good thing. Can I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve Pronto Sandblasting and Coating and Oilfield Services, AKA Pronto, in the amount of $1,119,284 as presented by Sam on behalf of Tri-Hydro Corporation.
Thank you, Kay. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? I'll call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great work to you and Nancy both. Okay, that concludes item number 9A. On to 9B, aggregate mining operations adjacent to the city of Garden Ridge. It's been a busy month. So, Lisa, I don't have anything to add. Do you have anything to add for this month?
You know, the only thing I had to add is that I wanted to just draw a little bit of attention to when we had our variance request meeting about some of the comments about Heidelberg Hansen. There were lots of people that were still reporting dust, and, I hope that they will reach out to the quarry to deal with some of that. And there was one thing when we were meeting with the church on some of this that was of concern, and I think the church needs to follow up as well. There was a fly rock incident at the church where when they blasted, rocks went on to one of their sheds along their fence line. And that was a big concern. So I'm certainly going to encourage, the pastor over there is changing, but I'm going to encourage them to, follow up with some of that. And it's funny, I did look up what to do about fly rock. You report that too. And I talked to TCEQ about it. And the regulation is under Mine Safety and Health Administration, but the actual code is under the Railroad Commission. So I'm not even sure which direction they should go. They don't make it easy. So just that note. Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa. Council, anything for Lisa? Okay, moving on to item number 9C, 2023 Texas Legislative Session. I asked for an update from Senator Campbell's office. I have not received that yet. Looking through the TML, Texas Municipal League's information that they send out, I didn't see anything really applicable to the city of Garden Ridge over the last 2 weeks that's been approved by the House and the Senate yet. Anybody have anything to add with that? Okay, we had a great, we didn't really talk about it in April. We had a great visit with Northeast Partnership with our field trip up to the Texas Capitol on the 27th of March. We had a good time and hopefully got some good stuff done. If nothing else, we solidified our relationships with our elected officials at the state level. All right. Moving on to item number 10, City Council projects. 10.1, mitigation of growth and encroachment impacts on Garden Ridge. Lisa, I don't have any updates on this for this month, do you?
Not really.
Okay. Nothing from Laddie Denton recently?
No, nothing lately.
Okay. Moving on to 10A2, Great Springs project. Jesse, you and Lisa?
So our contact at Great Springs, David, has moved on to another job. He was the best. But now we've got Kenny. Kenny's our next guy, and we have been emailing with Kenny, introducing ourselves, and Kenny is up to speed on what we're working on. We should know by the end of this month, and I looked for a date and couldn't find the exact one, about our Texas Parks and Wildlife Division grant request for the park. So should be near the end of the month. I'll see if I can't find the date, but I couldn't find it. So that's what we got going on there. Anything else, Jesse?
We talked about our walkable community workshop. We've been working with Joey at AMPO, and he also resigned. Anyway, Sonia Jimenez reached out to us and is going to follow up on that. So right now, we have a meeting scheduled for next Tuesday with Lisa, Nancy, and myself to meet with Sonia and Clifton Hall and some of their tech staff to go over some of the detailed process, gather information, and discuss steps. And Lisa's already made arrangements to have a table set up at the June 10th market days, so they can have a booth there and start, gathering data as well. And so we'll some of the plans as well going forward here with that. That's a key thing in going forward with anything we do with walkable, walking or pedestrian and biking trails for the future for Garden Ridge. So we need that data. Okay.
Thank
I think
you.
that's it.
I really appreciate the update. Thanks for doing all that, and we look forward to seeing if we get that grant, right?
Yeah.
That'd be huge. Okay, on to 3, Economic Development and Council Liaison to Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Please.
I have a lot today, so. So spinning off what Nancy said, we had a very successful mixer over at Paul Davis Park, and by my estimates, it was anywhere between 80 and 250 people. So, yeah. But I want to thank city staff, PD, Public Works, everybody who's out there. Nancy's out there shoveling, food and drinks to everybody, and I thought it was great. It was just a team effort, and people were very excited. They had a great time. I want to thank our sponsors, of course, City of Garden Ridge, First United Bank, Leapfrog Promotions, Alamo Beer Company, and LOL Liquors, and Raptitude. They worked us a really good deal on our food. So, and they came over and free of charge and delivered it and stuck around and enjoyed the evening with us. And then there's some things special that happened in my opinion. So, Rob had a great idea. Mayor Rob had a great idea to post some signs around strategically by the food, of course, and the beer. And with our vision of what we would like along 2252 and upscale retail, et cetera. And we had a lot of people it garnered a lot of interest and excitement from a lot of investors and people that have retail establishments in Cibolo, Schertz, San Antonio. So they're wanting to talk more, and I think that's great. But when somebody's pulling you away from other people in a conversation, go, no, I need you to sit down and talk with me right now. This is exciting. I want to be a part of this. That's exciting. So great job on that idea. So that was great. And on the EDC front too, I know we had a master plan submission just today, I think, right? For something along 2252 that's very family and adult, kid, and pet friendly. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. Let's see. I think that is it for me today. I think that's it. Did you have anything else? Did you have anything to add?
Yes, I want to reiterate what you said. It was terrific. Everybody was really enthusiastic, and we ordered the weather. It was pretty perfect. Also, I plan to attend the Tri-County Luncheon as usual next week, and I'll give a huge shout out to Mindy for really promoting it for us and for all the members that were that did attend as well. So if there's anything else you want me to pass on before then, let me know.
Yeah, and I did want to make a point that it was the highest turnout they'd ever had for a mixer. They usually average between 40 and 50, so it was about 80 something. So that was kudos to everybody. So
Kelly, I know you're passing praise around, and I love that, but you hit it out of the park with all the things that you did. You You were the projo of it, the honcho, and put it all together. And then we worked as a team, you and I and Nancy and Marissa and Courtney and the city and the council, to really put it together along with Public Works and the police department, everybody, to make it happen. But you organized the whole thing. You connected the people. So thanks. Keep it up. This is an investment for the city of Garden Ridge, and we need to keep this going. So I think what's going to happen is once the first place that we can gather and go as a family and have a meal and just socialize is going to light the spark, or it's going to be the spark that lights the fire that, hey, people want to come to Garden Ridge as a destination. So we are thinking strategically and staying the course on this. So thanks for everything you're doing, Kelly. Great work. Awesome. All right, moving on to, Lisa,
Yes, Rob.
please.
Just as an aside on this one, I got an invitation to Comal County Commissioners Court to be there for an economic development proclamation on the 11th. Not sure why I got tagged, but I'm going. If you've got anything, you can. I'm not even sure exactly what it is, other than a proclamation. I've looked at the guest list. It's kind of all over the place, but I'll be there.
You have to hold the signs up, everything we made.
Thanks for carrying the flag. Add all those signs. Take the signs with you. Okay. Anything else? Good? Okay, awesome. Thanks. Jesse, you're up.
Okay, got several things here. So far, the main topics has been discussion at the AMPO Technical Advisory Committee has been around the Transportation Alternatives Call for Projects. And right now, I've heard Selma, Schertz, and Cibolo have several projects they're going to submit, so I'm hearing about those. At the April meeting, Gary Ford, he's the chairman of the TAC meeting. He's also the New Braunfels city engineer. He presented the bond package for New Braunfels, $140 million bond issue. 99 million of that's for transportation. They're really going after making some big road improvements. 12 million is for parks and recreation. 28 million for library. New library. Don't get any ideas right now. But anyway, a lot going on there. I also on Monday made contact with Kevin Webb and trying to set up some time to meet with him about the future of 3009. So got that going there a little bit. So. And there's another activity going on with some projects coming up. And one is railroad crossing in Comal County. There's about over 70 railroad crossings in Comal County. So they're going to use this as kind of the layout, how it works, and looking at different things around crossings, blocking locations, quiet zones, things like that. So, and of course, we have several in and he mentioned Garden Ridge in this process. So that'll be included in there. And it'll set the stage for other counties to do things similar. So more to come on that. This study will be for fiscal year 24 and 25. So it'll be a while before we get results. But anyway, that's all I have.
Thanks for that, Jesse. That's exactly why you're on that, in that organization, part of that technical advisory committee. Thanks for all that work you're doing. Mm-hmm. Council, anything for Jesse, AMPO? The trains, by the way, that cross 2252 are timed exactly with how late I am to get to work in the base. So if you need any input on that, I'm sure you do. Jesse, we'll move on to item number 5. I don't have anything for water and utilities. You already covered it.
I don't have any other updates.
Okay.
I've covered everything earlier.
Awesome.
So.
Thanks. On to item number 10A6. Council liaison to Comal ISD. Todd.
I'll try to talk quickly. We had a great event Monday night. They're capping off the 3rd year of Davenport High School, and the list of achievements that school has done is almost unbelievable in their first 3 years. I encourage people to come out, check out that high school. It is absolutely something special, and it's ours. I'm going to claim it even though it's not in Garden Ridge. Other piece of the puzzle that's going on with Comal ISD is the new elementary school over by Danville Middle School is on schedule. It's actually ahead of schedule, and it will be open this fall. So our portable stack that's out in front of Garden Ridge Elementary School should go away at least for a while. Unfortunately, you know where they're going, is over to Davenport High School because they're full. Yep. So that's kind of why this bond was brought up, is to try to finish Davenport High School because they had unexpectedly filled it up. Somebody by the name of Todd might have mentioned that if you build it, they will come, and that school will be full in about 3-4 years. And that's where we're at. So that school's knocking on capacity. It's on classroom capacity. So that's where the bond is. Yeah, go Wolves. It's been a great year for them.
It has been. Go Wolves. If you would, as our council liaison, from us and from the mayor and the city, pass on thanks and keep going to David Krasinski, our elected representative to the board. He does great work, and he's very, very attentive. And anytime I have a question regarding the city of Garden Ridge and Comal ISD, he gets right back to me. So.
And he's ornery enough to be in the job.
Yeah, no, I love it. So, thanks. Council, anything for Todd about Comal? Go Wolves. Okay, awesome. All right, moving on to item number 10A7, city welcome signage. Okay, any updates from our discussion?
Just want to just go around the corner a little bit. In reviewing the bid that I received last October, which you know is already accelerated by 10 to 20%, and then the gentleman's design fees are what they are. I mean, I guess they're justified in the industry, but it's cost prohibitive for us now, of course, I think, to consider doing, starting forward on the 4 signs. I have reached out to Will Lockett, and not to contradict anything that Sam, couldn't see Sam, to see that Sam said that because this has to do with coming forward, if we want to do a sign on 2252, they're still hoping to let that contract in this coming up, and then to let it and to complete it by the end of summer, the Evans Road connection, so that would allow us to consider coming forward over the railroad tracks. Is it feasible to go into their, to our sign on that side of the city? Anyway, and then on 3009, I'd ask him because I'd heard at one point that 3009 they were investigating it, but he said it's still in the initial phases of feasibility and scoping, and the schematic development has not started. So I think if we choose to, we could go forward on perhaps one of the signs. But I've also reached out to another gentleman that I've worked with and received some quotes, 4 separate quotes on his fees, and he's incredibly reasonable. He's recommended by a fellow citizen who has worked with him, and I like this gentleman, Stephen, quite a bit. And I have provided him with pictures of another sign that we talked about creating, and I gave that to him this week, and he's going to hopefully have a bid, a signed contract that we can hire him for his design issues, and at that point he can either recommend or we can find our own to construct this new sign. So he has all the working information that you and I talked about to possibly go forward on that. I find him really easy to work with, and he seems incredibly reasonable.
That's outstanding. It's okay to let the council know what we talked about and the sign specifically that you and I talked about.
Okay. Rob had actually brought this idea to my attention that possibly it's time to update the sign at Paul Davis, not to diminish what's there now in honor of Mr. Davis, but possibly restore the iron portion. Those of you who haven't seen it, the iron portion of it, where it says Paul Davis Park, and create some sort of a monument deeper into the park itself, just as if you will, like a giant iron plaque, but vertical. But so I mentioned that to this gentleman, Steve, as well, and then deconstruct what is now a brick sign monument, if you will. I don't know when that was constructed, to be honest. There's a plaque on it, but it doesn't indicate when that was constructed. And I gave him all the specs on the slab that is there and so on and so forth. And I told him I would like it to be, I think, like, hill country stone or something to that effect. So he has the concept, and I think he'll come forward with something, and then from there, and his bid is very reasonable. I mean, his bid on the 4 signs that I talked to him about was incredibly reasonable, and I feel sure that this will be no more than what he's quoted in the past. I told him we had to go ahead to hire him once I see his contract. And that from there, then we'll determine who could build. And I have a contact as well on someone who's done some work for me, who really has a great reputation and has done beautiful work. Perhaps he could construct the new monument. So it's all kind of literally up in the air right now. But we can, I will have an update within 2 weeks, I'm sure.
That's awesome, Kay. Thanks. So, council, what Kay and I were talking about is having a new sign for Paul Davis Park, whether that's a modification of our existing sign or a completely new monument / sign at Paul Davis Park. Since we own that property, it's not a right-of-way that we have to wait for TxDOT to update its projects and grant us the permission to do that. And where would we put it in the city as far as entrances go? We own Paul Davis Park, and we can update it as necessary. It doesn't mean that our existing Paul Davis sign, or Paul Davis Park sign, goes away. That becomes a memorial, just like Kay said, somewhere in the park. And we update it so it's an attractive, sign for where we gather very often. So anyway, that's what Kay's working on. I appreciate all your hard work on that in just the last week.
And I think perhaps we'd also considered creating the new logo on that sign as well.
We did. So keep going. Thanks. Council, anything for Kay or myself? Great. All right, that concludes item number 10 for updates for projects. Item number 11, discussion of future agenda items. Anybody have anything they want to put on June's agenda? Please.
Okay, in light of our approval of ordinance 1303-2023, I'd like to have a discussion on natural features overlay district on properties, undeveloped properties on FM 2252 and 3009. And Cynthia probably needs some feedback from Bryce on that, so.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be short, but if you'd like, Jesse and I attended the ribbon cutting for the new Passport Center in New Braunfels, and I could just provide a quick update on their hours and the concept and so on, if you like, in June. It's to the advantage of all the residents.
Please.
Okay.
That'd be great. Anybody have anything else? Okay, outstanding. Thank you both for that. We'll move on to item number 12, citizen comment period. You don't have to have signed up, obviously. Any takers? People in the audience? No? Okay. Going once, Dr. Miller? No? Okay. We'll talk to you afterwards then, I guess. All right. We'll move on to item number 13, reports and comments from the mayor and city council members. Before I go, we've talked about some of this stuff, but anybody have anything they want to add before I add just a couple things?
I've got a TxDOT thing. Nancy and I are meeting at Will Lockett's office tomorrow. TRAM, which is the Texans for Responsible Aggregate Mining, with Mark Friesenhahn taking the lead on there, is getting together a group of vested, what did we say it was? Vested interest parties? What did we say?
Yes, parties with a vested interest.
Parties with a vested interest. I've still got beach brain. Parties with a vested interest on Nacogdoches on 2252. So tomorrow we get together with those people, but the idea is that we work with the aggregate industry on repairs to that road with their participation. We'll see.
I love it. And you have my list of things that I need from Mr. Will Lockett.
Yes, Nancy and I will cover them on the way there.
Please. Stephen, if you have anything else that we need from TxDOT, make sure Nancy knows about it before they go, okay? We need that stuff. Okay. Thanks. Anything else? Jesse?
Yeah, I also had feedback. I also had gone out to Will Lockett on updates on FM 2252. I sent copies of it to Nancy. Anyway, Evans Road, worked there. That was currently awaiting utility adjustment from SAWS. TxDOT met with SAWS recently and waiting approval from the board now to proceed. So it's still dealing with solid issues before they can finish the curbs there. Hoping to still complete the job, their part, by midsummer. The remaining part of the project, including the railroad overpass, is scheduled to go out for bids this month. Yeah. And Kay already mentioned those comments about 3009, as well as my comments as far as meeting with Kevin Webb to get something going on with AMPO on that. So, I also have Garden Ridge Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association. The planning for the 8th annual car show is on schedule. Scheduled for October 21st is underway. Have a committee meeting with some of the subcommittees next week. And Rob, John Bursack, as car chair, announced that there'll be a new attraction this year, Mustang Ranch. Should I say Lisa's Mustang Ranch? I don't know.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm not even gonna, okay, thank you, Jesse, for your very eloquent update.
I
All
didn't
right.
get a vote in this, so.
Rob.
Okay. All right, Kelly, you're up.
More Tri-County. Future. So next mixer, May 25th, 5:38 at Fajitas and Margaritas inside of Bluebonnet Palace. Their food is phenomenal. I think you guys would all love it. I hope to see everybody out there. And then October 21st. So as a city partner, we get to have an event in our city other than just a mixer. So this is a tentative date for now, but October 21st, a cornhole tournament, family fun day in Garden Ridge with live music, food trucks, and kids' corner. So this is what I was texted by Mindy, our director here a few minutes ago.
So I'm not a math major, but the car show's the 21st, right?
Yep. Oh, great.
So.
That's right.
Can you get back to her with another date?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Wait, hold on. And car show. That's what I meant.
Okay.
the community center, everything's tied up over here.
Okay. Ask her for other possible dates. Anything else? Good? Todd, you have updates.
I do. Jesse stole my thunder with the TxDOT, so I
He did, but you actually talked to Will Lockett today.
I did actually speak with Will Lockett today. He
Amazing.
answered the phone. I guess his caller ID wasn't working or something. And it's really, he used the term clown show. And I might have used the term football bat in discussing how this has all gone because they keep running into these roadblocks and nobody wants to take care of the problem. So that's where we're at with that. We're, 2 months behind schedule, 3 months behind schedule right now. And they don't know when they're going to get it done. They're hoping to get some decision made this week with saws and them on who's paying for what to move the water line. And then they'll figure out how they're going to go forward from there. In the meantime, we've got a bridge that's got cones all over it and traffic, in the case of this morning, for example, stacked up to Tonkawa. So at some point here, we as a city might want to express our displeasure with how they're handling this as well. I was fairly eloquent this morning, but political pressure is real pressure.
All right, at least you got on the phone with him.
Yeah.
I can't.
It was a good conversation.
Someone to
He
call me
admitted
back.
that it was a mess.
So let Will Lockett know when we see him tomorrow as a city that we have reached out, I have reached out to our elected representatives, so Senator Campbell's office and Representative Isaac's office specifically about TxDOT. And it's that issue and then a couple other things that I have with it. So let Will know that we've reached out to our elected representatives to go, hey, we are unsatisfied with what's going on and the communication. So,
I also asked AMPO about, this issue, and apparently when AMPO finishes and gets all the funding and everything else, it goes over to TxDOT and they're out of it. So, yeah.
lots goes over to TxDOT and nothing happens. So,
He did say he was gonna go to the county luncheon next Monday.
great.
Yeah, let's see if he shows up.
Okay.
Okay, can we end on a good note, though?
Yes.
Since our last meeting, Troop 828 Boy Scouts has 3 new Eagle Scouts. 3 in the last 3 weeks. I got 1 more. There may be a reason for that. If they're watching, I hope they are, and I'm going to tease them a little bit. It's really a lot easier if you finish your Eagle Scout stuff before you turn 18 versus doing your Board of Review right after you turn 18, or in one kid's case, the day he turned 18. But we got 3 of them done. I got 1 more to go, and then I'll have a couple more next year. But as soon as I get the other one done, we're going to get all 4 of them in here.
It's fantastic. It's great work. Troop 828. That's great. Speaking of Troop 828, are you guys up for helping again on May 20th for Families of Garden Ridge cleanup of FM 2252 and maybe a quick rundown of 3009, just like you guys did on April 1st? You're checking your calendar, which is a yes, in my opinion. So speaking of that, so our next cleanup of 2252 is Saturday, May 20th. I reached out to Davenport High School, specifically the seniors, to help us out with that so we can clean up the roadways prior to graduation the next week, the next Friday. So come on out for that. Northeast Partnership lunch is a week from tomorrow, so hope to see you guys all there, as many as we can get. And again, Nancy mentioned this before, but Friday is First Friday and Cinco de Mayo, and our good friend Paul Davis and his amazing guitar is back. He had knee surgery in March, and he's better. Paul Duke, sorry, Paul Davis. I've got the park on the mind. Paul, I'm sorry, Paul Duke. I'll hear about that. He's back, and he's ready to come out and see us all. So,
Seen him walking around, so he's out there.
so he's good. All right, that's awesome. And we will have plenty of Chewy's margaritas there. So, since I got feedback last time that we didn't have enough, so we will have enough this time. All right. And that's all I got. Anybody else have anything else for item number 13? All right, on to item number 14. There being no further business, the City Council regular meeting is adjourned at 7:31 p.m. Wow. New record. Thanks for coming, everybody.